Hello and welcome everyone. This is Melissa with Build a Better Bakery. You are here in the Bakery Business School group on Facebook. I'm so excited to have you, and we are excited to talk to you today about baking business regulations that you might come across as you are starting your business. I know that it can be kind of overwhelming to see all of these, not really know what to expect. So I want to cover the most basic, the most common ones that most people in the US are going to experience and across the world, depending on where you live and what you are trying to do. So thank you so much for being here. You can throw up your hashtag replay so that if you're catching this on the replay, I know that you've seen the content, and you can put comments about anything we're talking about in the comment section. I will view them later if you are not here with me live. Now let me go ahead and bring this up so that I can see any comments. Okie doke. So I should be able to view any comments that you're putting in live. If you are here live, go ahead and do your hashtag live so I know you're here. We can get the comment section going. You can even throw up your favorite emoji or something. Tell me a little bit about what you're focusing on today if you're doing anything business related. Now, if you want to get invitations to these sessions, you can jump on the email list that's on our website. You can also ask for it in the comments. I will send you the link. You can get your friend request into me on Facebook. I will accept it, and then I can personally invite you to the events. You can look at the events at the event section in the group. You'll see any upcoming things, and you can mark yourself as going, or you can set your own alarm for 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time every Thursday, which is when I come in here to the group live with you. It is my commitment to you to help you build a better business. I want to be available to you in that way, so you'll see me here every Thursday. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump into the content because I know that some of you are going to have your notebooks out, your pens out. You're going to be ready to write down some notes so that you can look at your current location and see which of these you're going to need to do to start your exciting, new, unique baking business. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Lori. Good to see you. Now, the two people who've done their hashtag live so far are current business owners. They are in the Elite program and they are running their businesses currently. So I'm going to ask a question in just a moment, and maybe they can answer it for you to give you a little bit of an idea of what they have experienced with their businesses. When you are brand new to the baking industry, it might feel like you need to get approval from everyone and their mom to get started. Right? You might be thinking, why do all these people care about what I'm doing? And, why do they all need my information over and over again? So it can be one of the reasons that some bakers kind of back away from starting their business and maybe don't ever start the business just because of all this red tape that's going on. And it can be kind of confusing. So thus, the reason for the live today, I got a lot of questions for new people coming into the group about laws, licenses, legalities of starting. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to shed some light on this whole process just to kind of get you comfortable with the terms of what you might see. Now, after the session, I'll be announcing 2 opportunities made specifically to help you build your business faster and better. So if you're interested at the end, you can always take up my offers depending on where you are in the process of your baking business. Now, before I hop into this, I want to say that I am not a legal representative. And everything that we're going to cover is my opinion based on almost 2 decades in this industry. Every location and situation is going to be a little bit different, meaning we're going to cover the basics, some things you might encounter, but it might not be everything that you have to complete personally. So you want to double check locally. And in fact, if you are here and have completed regulations for your business, which I know there are at least a couple people here right now, go ahead and list out what you've been asked to do so others can see what's out there. So others can see what you have done to start your business. Just put a little list out there and we can all get an eyeball on what people are being asked to do in their locations. All right, now the first section I want to focus on is federal. So if you got your notebook and pen, go ahead and just write federal. With federal regulations, you're going to begin by registering with the appropriate business model that you want to use. This is going to be different for everyone. You might have to do a little bit more research on the differences between them. Most bakers start with a sole proprietorship or an LLC, depending on their current situation. Those are the 2 most popular. Your choice in business model that you're going to register with the IRS, right, to pay taxes on, it might result in things like having to generate an EIN, an employer identification number. Not everybody needs that. Okay, but they're free. You can do it on, I believe it's the IRS website. but you might not need it. But that might be something to look at, so you can take a note. You might have to fill out extra inventory forms and other forms depending on the model that you choose. You might and probably will have to pay fees for registration for something like an LLC in the state that you choose to register in, depending on, again, your local situation. The least amount of regulations usually exist for those who choose the sole proprietorship option, okay? A good rule to follow for tax time, because you're kind of basically telling the IRS, hey, I'm here, I'm going to start making some income, is to hold back about 30 to 40% of your net profits, right? So gross is like all of your income, everything that's coming in, and net profit is what you keep after you pay all your bills and pay for everything for your business. You want to save about 30 to 40% back in a savings account or somewhere else, don't spend it, for tax time. And then you more than likely will file your taxes once a year, depending on where you live and how much you're making. You will possibly be asked to turn in estimated taxes, usually quarterly, monthly, depending on your income level. It's really different for everybody. So again, I want you to double check your own personal what you're gonna need to do. This is just my opinion and what I've learned. So again, I really need you to check on this for yourself. I do notice, and I'm not calling anyone out here, but I do notice that many bakers kind of skirt around paying taxes, claiming their income. But I want to mention something here that some of us might not really be considering. And it's kind of important because I don't want you to do this for 5, 6, 7 years and get down the line and then realize, ooh, I shouldn't have done it that way. It is important to pay your taxes because it allows you to continue to pay into Social Security and Medicare. Okay, that's part of the taxes when you're a self-employed person. And you're going to want this later. You're not going to really, my opinion at least, is you're not going to really want a huge span of time where you're not paying into Social Security, especially if you're making income. Okay, like that is going to be something you're going to want for later. And if you don't file that, you miss out on that specific opportunity. And I also want to note before we move off this topic that when you make over $400 in sales, not net profit, but actual sales per year in the US, you are required to file taxes. And that's going to be a large chunk of y'all here, okay? Some of us can make $400 in one day. It just depends on what you're selling. So more than likely, you're going to meet that threshold if you're actively working in your business. And just make sure that you're paying attention to deductions and applying those when it comes time so that any deductions is going to make that portion of money not income, and then you won't get taxed on it because you've used it for your business. So that's an important thing. And I know if taxes are new to you, you might need a little bit of help with that. So for more tax training, I'm actually going to copy a link here for another video right here in the group. It's free. Let me get here on the comments. Okay. That's the tax training if you want to watch it later, but stick with me now because there's other things we want to talk about. You can watch these whenever you want, okay? Number 2, we're going to talk about state. States can vary heavily on rules, and if you're not new to the industry, you will probably know this. Some are very strict and others are almost non-existent, like literally almost no information. Some are really micromanaging food sellers and bakers. So you'll want to be looking specifically at what's called cottage laws if you're working from home. Commercial kitchens have much more freedom on what to sell and make. So if you're working from home, this is really important to look at. In cottage laws, you might see regulations on what you can and can't sell. Like some places say you can't sell chocolate, you can't sell high dairy items, you can't use butter, right? Like you're going to need to look at that first. And where you can or can't sell it, like your home or a market, etc. Even how much you can make per year, there's sometimes cap limits on that. Labeling requirements that you're going to want to know about and more. Normally, you'll be required to label with something like made in a home kitchen if you're at home, possibly your address, ingredients, identifying information like permit numbers, things like that. Again, very specific to your location, so you're going to want to check on that. I'm going to put another link up here. That is a direct link to a website called forager.com, and they seem to have a pretty good spray of information on cottage laws. So, and this is again for the US, so I'm going to put that up for you. You can look at that later. State laws may also require that you collect and remit sales tax. Not always, but it's not as common for food, but some states do say yes to this. Specifics on this will come from your state directly as far as percentages, and you might even have information coming from your county as well, depending on where you're situated. You'll often be asked to submit paperwork to receive something like a seller's permit, doing business as, or a DBA license, or other licenses at the state level. Again, it's varied. Those are some of the most common ones that you'll see. You can search for your state's website for more information on home-based food business regulations. There should be a website out there. Theforger.com may have a specific link for you, so you can read up on it. But I will say sometimes that's still kind of confusing. So popping into a local municipal center, courthouse, state center, any place where there are officials that can, even if they aren't the right person to talk to, they can direct you to the department that you need to be speaking to. And you might even be able to just place a phone call and get that information so that you know it's current and you know it's specific to your location. Okay. Number 3, we're going to talk about county. County regulations can vary just like state laws, and sometimes they even contradict each other. So you're going to have to keep an eyeball on what's happening with that. These can include regulations based on zoning, like are you in a housing zone, a commercial zone, where do you live? This could be requiring local health department inspections, usually run by the county you live in. This could be requiring other sales permits and other licenses for using certain areas in the county or selling at certain events that happen in the area. You will want to check with local health department to see if a scheduled inspection is required, which you might see that listed out somewhere in the Cottage Laws or getting information as you're setting up your commercial business. And try to find what their checklist states and if you can get that early. Most of the time they will give that to you because they want you to be prepared for your inspection. You will see things like separation of work and home materials if you're at home. If you're at home, keeping children and pets out of the kitchen with, either they can't be in the home at all, you have to have a gate, it has to be a door, whatever it is. Having temperature gauges in the fridge and freezer, having products stored up off the ground, specific washing stations for hands and dishes, handrails if you have steps, fire hazards, fire exits, things like that. There might be a list that you need to kind of get set up before the inspection happens. And it's going to vary with each health department and their requirements. So I want you to check with them and make sure you're ready to go for that. So you only have to do it one time and you don't have to have people coming back over and over to, as you fix little things. If you have a storefront, you will most likely receive random inspections by the health department and receive a public rating. So that means anybody can find out what your health inspection rating was the last time you were inspected, what happened with it. So it's really best to stick to the best practices at all times if you're running a storefront operation. If you're at home, you might not have to have inspections at all. Maybe it's just once, maybe it's randomly, maybe it's once a year. It's all different with that. So you'll just have to check on what's expected. Hey, Allie, good to see you. Okay. I also want to hit on other organizations and venues because as you start to expand and work with other people and groups, you might actually be asked to do even more than what the federal, state, and county is asking of you. You may want to work with organizations that require things like liability insurance, which I think you should have anyway, but it's not like a requirement usually as far as what the state and county and federal are going to force you to do. Things like auto insurance, and a food handler's card. These are all things, the food handler's card might actually be required by your health department as well. Sometimes these things kind of overlap. Again, these are just the most common that you will probably run into as you get started. If you want more information on insurance, I actually did a nice little live on this recently. So I'm also going to link this for you to watch later. This is kind of a good compiling of information, this little live here. Food handlers cards, although not always required, are a great investment, I think, in your knowledge and professionalism as a baker and just anyone working with food. And I highly, highly recommend this if you've not done it before. You can sometimes get these at no cost locally through organizations that, do the trainings for free, Or you can go online to a site like ServeSafe, and sometimes this is free and other times you pay for it. I think it was free over COVID recently, but I think you're paying for it again now. I'm not totally sure. So I'm actually going to do food handlers. Oh, that didn't work. I'm going to leave this in the comments too. Sorry, my thing is all popping around on you. I just want to make sure I got that out. Okay. Another link for you to look at later. Now, if you're wanting to get started, there are a few places to start looking for information. So I've laid out some of the most common that are going to happen. It might feel overwhelming right now, but literally it's just one step at a time. Notebook and pen, take notes about what we're talking about today, and then just look at the links that I've sent you and just cross things off, circle things. So if you see, oh, I live in this state, I went to the Cottage Laws, I have to do, you know, a state permit, and I have to do my handler's card. Okay, circle those things and then use the links that I've sent or the internet to figure out how we're actually going to finish those. But I wanted to compile a couple more things for you too. So if you wanted to get started, here's a few places to start looking for information. I'm just going to copy and paste this. It's got some little, I had a little typing error there. Okay. I'm going to be posting here. I'm just going to post this down here. I posted a link for the irs.gov, and this is a small business self-employed link. Okay. So it's going to have a lot of good information. I would really suggest if you are looking for tax information, I know that I posted an opinion piece here for you that's from me, but I talk about the IRS a lot because really you should just be looking at their website. They're the people that do the taxes. So if you're, you know, paying attention to bloggers and people who aren't affiliated with the IRS, they really don't have the most up-to-date information, including myself. So using the IRS's website to your best advantage is really, although it's not a super fun, like hip website, it has the info you need. So I put that link up there. And then you can search your state for home-based food business or commercial food business online, the state website, to get to the appropriate place to get more information. Same thing with the county. And you can check in with your local health department. Sometimes it's the agricultural department if you live in a more rural location like I have in the past. Sometimes it's a courthouse if that's kind of just like the central area where all the officials' offices are. Sometimes it's an actual licensing facility where there's multiple things happening, driver's license, work license, business license. There's just permitting and licensing all happening together. It could be something called a municipal center where there's kind of multiple things happening all at once, or some other location that I've not personally heard about in your area, just essentially where your local officials can point you in that right direction to get all of your paperwork in order so you can get started with your business. Allie says, I'm going to look into that ServeSafe. I've been wanting to do that. Yeah. It's a great training. I took it, I don't know, recently. I don't remember when, maybe right before Christmas. And it was when it was free. So I got it for free. And yeah, it was really good. I mean, I've worked in a kitchen and bakeries like forever, so I knew pretty much all of it, but it was just good refresher. So even if you've done work like that before, it's still a good thing to watch just because if you're working from home, you can kind of forget if you don't have all the commercial equipment around. And it just gives you some good ideas on how to stay food safe with like working from home and not having all the commercial space that, you know, you might be used to if you've worked in kitchens. So it's good. Okie doke. Now, that's all the information I have for you for today as far as regulations go. Federal, state, county, local organizations. Lots of links on how to find more information on all of those, well, most of those topics. So as you're watching this, if you have additional questions, put them in the comments. I'd be happy to discuss with you, send you other resources I might have. I have another, I don't have the link copied, but I have an actual blog post with Cottage Law, more Cottage Law information that includes the forager link and some other just what are cottage laws, why are they important, that kind of thing that you might want to know more about that before you go to that main site. So I can send you that link as well if you need it. Now, for those who are looking to deep dive into planning, because what we're talking about is getting someone ready to really kind of up level what they're doing. So if you need to plan your business out, we're talking baking business plan, we're talking about, branding, like all the things that you need to kind of get settled before you can move forward and see some growth. Maybe you're going to want to see some growth through the end of 2021 and into 2022. You want this to be a really big change growth season for you. You might want to join the hundreds of bakers who have claimed our Plan for Success online course. You get 24/7 lifetime access so that you can move through the information at your own pace. Because I know a lot of us are very busy, especially if you're trying to grow the business and bake and have a family and have a job and like all of those things at the same time. You might need to do it like later, not in a live session. So I get that. And it would help you get your business set up for more success sooner in your future. So to celebrate those who are watching either now or today, or maybe even tomorrow morning, because I like y'all to be on it, I'm announcing an offer that's only good for 48 hours. So this is a very quick, just kind of a thank you for being here with me live, or, watching this information as soon as it comes out. It's a little gift from me to you. I want you to take $50 off the Plan for Success course. And I want you to just use that somewhere else. So invest it in your business, get some equipment that you need, pay for, a service that you need to run your business better, whatever it is. So I want you to deduct that $50 off the price for the Plan for Success so that you can continue getting your business into ship shape and save some dough along the way, right? So I'm going to put up a link for that if you want to check out what's in there, kind of see if it's something you think can help you where you're at right now. And you're going to input code SAVE50. And this is valid through 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on October 2nd. So there's 48 hours from now until then. And I hope that you enjoy this because I want that to help somebody today. Additionally, if you don't love the course, you get a money back guarantee. So if you need to plan your business, I really suggest giving it a shot, seeing how you feel about the content inside of there. Now, additionally, if you are looking for in-person support as well, or other than an online, like self-directed option, we do have a group coaching program that might be exactly what you need in this moment. I know a lot of us need kind of a little kick in the booty. This is a really good option for that. And through October 8th, y'all are going to get access to the full baking business plan template, which is one of the places I suggest starting so that you can get all your ideas out on paper and it's situated so that all the information is usable and ready to go. And it's free when you join the Elite Mentorship Program, where we work with bakers daily to help them plan, start, run, and grow a baking business that brings fulfillment and income their way, because we're very focused on making sure you can pay your bills. This isn't a hobby. We're talking business here, and we do it one step at a time. So if you would like to discuss the program and something that we call the Warm Welcome Initiative opportunity that helps bakers get in with more accountability and with a little bit less funds that need help getting in, you're invited to schedule a free call with me at this link. Okay, I'm going to put this up here. And of course, I have a little spelling error again. Silly me. Okay, so this is for the free call. If you want to set something up, 20 minutes, talk about whatever you want. We'll see if the Elite program's a good fit or not. Talk about your journey. I'll let you know what the initiative is. And if you meet the criteria, you are welcome to take that option. We would love to have you in. Or you can join the program right away and we can get started together, literally today. Join today, we'll get started. You'll get access to over 100 hours of content. All the coaches are there to support you. Private group, lots of really, really good information. If Allie's still here, she can tell you. She's also in the Elite program, and this is her first month in, and she has watched a ton of really good content already. So we would love to have you in if you think that having some in-person support is what you need to get moving and up level and get yourself a better baking business. And that's it for me today. I will see you all in the Bakery Business School group. Post whenever you want to, chat about whatever you want to, put more comments on this video if you want to talk more about regulations. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope you all have a lovely day. I'll see you next Thursday.